welcome back everyone. Today I bring you another episode of the Journey to National Master. After almost 2 months without uploading, I just kind of needed a break from uploading. I wasn't really feeling too well, and I had also a lot of tournaments and preparation for the tournaments and stuff like that, but feeling better right now, and I'm ready to start showing you the games that I've been playing. So here we are still in Festival do Galitos, the tournament that I was playing in June, I believe. And this was round 5 of the tournament. And I got paired up against the number 1 seed, the best player in the tournament, Simon Pintor, a 2100 Elo rated player, so very strong. I had the black pieces, and I really wanted to redeem myself from the game that I played against Samuel Gonçalves in round 3, which was very embarrassing for me, honestly. So yeah, my opponent had the white pieces, and he started with e4. I went e6, so the French defense. That is what I was playing in this time. He went d4, I went d5, and here he went into the exchange French. And I was sort of happy to see this because, I mean, it gives a lot of... it gives an equal game and symmetrical, and it's a good way for you to kind of assess how you do against a stronger player in an equal position. I think you can actually learn way more when you are a low-rated player like me from these equal positions than from complex positions, because it's kind of easier to see where you went wrong because it's very symmetrical. But let's see how it went. So we went knight f3, went knight f6, bishop d3, bishop d6, so very symmetrical. And here he gave a check on e2. So here I didn't think for a long time. I just played queen e7. And, you know, I was like, okay, let's go into a queenless middle game, which I'm very happy to go into. I like this type of positions without the queens on the board. So here I took with the bishop, played bishop f4, very nice move, just using the fact that my bishop left this diagonal. And I played c6, protecting the pawn on c7, he castled, and I castled. Also, just a quick note, what do you guys think of this board? I was kind of, you know, wanting to change up a little bit the board from chess.com, and so I decided to try this Lichess layout. And let me know if you like this one, and or if you prefer the ones that I was using before in the last videos. But okay, let's keep going. Here my opponent played rook e1, rook e8, defending the bishop on e7, knight bd2, and bishop g4, and that. Knight e5. Now, after bishop e6, he no longer has like knight g5, so that's an important detail. He went knight f3, I went knight bd7, and okay, I'm finally developed. Of course, I'm playing with the black pieces. I lack a little bit of space, but I'm pretty solid, and I was fine with this position. I spent some time in the opening, and my opponent was pretty much blitzing almost everything. But okay, I don't mind spending time in the opening. It's important. He went knight g5, and you know, I can easily answer this with knight f8, and after c3 here, I kick the knight away with h6. My opponent takes my bishop, I take back with the knight, and I'm attacking his bishop here. So he moves back to d2, and okay, we get this position here where my opponent gained the bishop pair, but in return I kind of freed up my position a little bit. You know, I was kind of cramped. Now, you know, my pieces are looking better, and yeah, I would say that probably white is slightly better, but nothing special. And here, yeah, here you kind of have to come up with a plan for black here. I played rook 88, which I don't really see what this movie is doing, to be honest. Maybe I could have gone with something more active, like c5, trying to immediately put pressure in the center. But let me turn on the engine for this part, just so we can actually confirm what is the best plan here. Engine says bishop d6, but let's say c5 for example. Okay, c5, it says that it's also decent, so takes, and okay, I have this isolated pawn, but at least my position is a little bit more active. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, rook 88 also is probably a fine move, but it's hard to justify this rook 88. Like, what is that rook actually doing on d8? And yeah, the computer wants bishop d6. Let's say I don't know, let's say bishop c2. Let's follow the suggestions, and wants to double on the e file. I don't really understand, but okay. What I did is also not the end of the world. But okay, rook 88, developing a piece, and my opponent plays b4, and the minority attack. I hate it so much, bro. I hate the minority attack so much. I've been playing Carlsbad structures all my chess career. I've always been playing e6, d5, queen's gambit type positions with the Carlsbad, and I still don't know exactly how to deal with the minority attack in the most optimal way. It always scares me, even though I know it's fine. You don't have to be worried, you don't have to be scared. It's just a strategy in the middle game. Like, okay, I mean, if white gets his minority attack, I mean, cool, he gets his minority attack, gets his queenside rolling, but it's not the end of the world. You're not immediately lost if your opponent actually executes the minority attack. Like, but I always get nervous and scared about this goddamn b4 b5 takes, and just, I mean, it's just stupid. But okay, here I spent a long time trying to figure this out, and I played a6, which, let me turn on the engine again. Yeah, a6 the engine doesn't really like at all. Yeah, I mean, it kind of walks into a4, which was what my opponent played, but okay, engine wants me to ignore the minority attack. Let's say a4. Okay, once knight e4, but isn't this just losing a pawn? Oh, okay, it doesn't lose a pawn because I have this intermediate thing, and yeah, takes, I'm attacking the bishop, so it doesn't really lose a pawn. But yeah, sure, I mean, of course I didn't see any of this. I'm not an engine, come on. But okay, as I said, even though I walked into the minority attack, it's not the end of the world. And yeah, I spent a long time calculating this line that we'll see, and I felt like I got a a decent position in my calculation, and it kind of ended up happening in the game. I played knight c7, which makes perfect sense. I want to uh, control the b5 square as hard as I can, and yeah, the knight on c7 is perfectly placed for that. Also, bishop d6, putting pressure on this knight, can be a good option as well. Here my opponent played rook b1. He still had quite a lot of time on the clock, probably like around 1 hour. I had like 30 something minutes, or maybe 40 or 30, 36, 37. I don't remember exactly, but still, I already had spent 1 hour on the clock for 20 moves, which is crazy, but it is what it is. Here I played bishop d6, following with the plan, and my opponent strikes with b5, which the computer actually thinks it's not that good. gives actually a really tiny advantage to black. Um, and yeah, it's kind of impressive how the minority attack backfired. So a takes b5, a takes b5, and here, I played knight takes on b5, which is fine, but even better is c5 actually. But yeah, b6, knight e6. Okay, the minority attack is stopped, and yeah, it is a position, a chess position for sure. But okay, I thought that what I got in the game was good as well, and it certainly was at least equal. So trading on b5, everything, and after rook takes on b5, I take the knight. Here my opponent played rook takes on e5. I took the rook, and after this forced sequence, I saw that I had knight e4 with the tempo on the bishop, and after bishop e1. So yeah, this is what I calculated um, before actually playing knight c7. I actually calculated all of this before playing knight, actually after playing bishop d6, excuse me. And I saw this position and I was like, okay, this is equal. I'm happy with an equal position against the 2100. I mean, as you guys know that I've been saying in all the videos, I never actually scored a point or alpha point against 2000 rated players, so that's really on my checklist, and I'm always a bit nervous when I get a chance to play against them because that might be the day. And here I spent a long time calculating. I was deciding between two moves. I was deciding between rook d7 and rook c8, and I've studied my endgames, and I've always heard, and I'm sure that you guys also heard, that the most important thing in endgames is activity, especially when you have rooks. And here, because I'm still not that good at chess, I actually played the worst move, which the engine doesn't really think it's a big deal, but you're gonna see during the game that it's a big deal. So I played rook d7, and my idea was just to protect these two pawns, and yeah, it seems fine. And okay, my opponent here played h4, which is a very nice move because it's threatening f3 to trap my knight. But here, I saw that I had rook c7, and after takes on d5, I take on c3, and I thought, okay, he gives a check, I move to h7, he takes my knight, I take his bishop, and here, rook d7, I'm gonna lose a pawn, king g8, rook takes b7, and okay, I saw this position in calculation, and I thought that, I knew that this was equal. I didn't really know the technique, but I thought that I was gonna be able to hold. So let's go back into the position. Here, I completely miscalculated, and now that I'm seeing this position, it's so obvious that rook c8 is the move. Why is rook c8 the move here? I mean, okay, my opponent can take either pawn, it doesn't matter. Let's say he takes on d5 here. Now, after knight takes on c3, first of all, if he can't check me on d8, and he also can't really go rook b5 here. If he goes rook d7 here, at the very least I can play b5 here, and I'm probably fine, right? Probably fine here, equal material. But when e takes on c3 here, he doesn't have the back rank free, so he can't really play rook d8 check, king h7, and now he can't go rook d7. He has to play g3 first, and now I keep my pawn. And it's completely equal material. There's no way he can outplay me from this position. Like, I just don't believe it. But I completely missed the fact that, you know, that he had to waste tempo on the back rank. I completely miscalculated that. And so we ended up actually getting the same position, but with the inclusion of h4, which makes the whole difference. Because now he doesn't have to waste the tempo on h4 or g3, and he wins the pawn. But yeah, I don't know what went through my mind. I mean, just even, okay, rook takes b7, it's the same thing. After knight takes on c3, there's no real way for him to win the pawn, you know? If he goes rook d7, I can always go king. Hello everyone, Rick from the future here. I was editing the video and I realized that actually there was a way for my opponent to always win the pawn. So let's go rook c8 here. If he takes on b7 after I take on c3, here he goes rook d7 here, and I go king f8, he goes king f1, and here if I try to kick the rook with king e8, first of all, the simple way is to just play rook d6, keeping pressure on d5, and now after king e7, he just takes the knight, I have to take back, and he takes the pawn, give up the b pawn, and we get into this position which I know that it's equal, theoretically speaking, but I don't know how to actually defend this position on a theoretical level, so I was just on my own, and I had like probably something like 12 minutes against like 40 minutes by my opponent. So yeah, I was excited, but at the same nervous. And let's see how my rook defense went. So okay, here I played rook c4, attacking on h4, and he played g3. And here, you know, I have a really important move to make. If you guys want to pause the video and try to find out what is the best way to defend this position, what is the idea here for the black pieces, feel free to write it in the comment section if you want. So yeah, here the idea is to play h5. h5 is very important. Let me just turn on the engine for a second, and as you can see, h5 is a really important concept that actually my trainer told me when we were analyzing this game. In these positions, you really want to play h5, just with the idea of not allowing your opponent to expand with h5 himself and to start rolling the pawn. So you really have to stop your opponent's pawns as soon as possible. And you're gonna play g6 next, and you know, try to control all these squares around your king. You're gonna keep your rook you know, somewhere to cut off his king, and it's gonna be hard for him to break through. But h5 is really important. I didn't know this idea before, so I didn't really play h5. I was just, you know, attacking his pawns. He defended with rook b5. I played rook e2, king g2, king f8. Again, h5 was really necessary. Even king f3 by my opponent, rook e1, you know, king f4, and it's already getting complicated because my opponent's king is very active, my king is very passive, my rook is controlling the e file, which is good, but still I really had to play g6 h5, you know, as soon as I could, to make it really hard for my opponent to break through. But here, you know, I let him execute this idea, you know, play g6, but now he has h5, And here I spent actually a lot of time calculating as well. I thought about taking on h5, which was what I ended up doing, and also thought about g5, but g5 here just looks terrible. Because I mean, this, if it's just like king f6, I mean king g7. Oh, this is painful. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be really hard to defend, in my opinion. Like, golly. But okay, I took on h5 and my opponent played king f5, and now my pawns are doubled, so yeah, this is not looking good at all. King f5. I played king g7 because I was really afraid of allowing king f6 with threats of checkmate, so I just played king g7. Here my opponent plays rook b7. I attack the f3 pawn with rook e3. My opponent goes f4. I go rook e2. And now rook e7. And, it's starting to get really unpleasant because my opponent is going to play e6 in the near future. Is going to break through, and I might be in the risk of losing. Here I played king b2 and rook b2, excuse me, and the idea is that if my opponent plays e6 here, I can go rook b5 check, and after king e4 I have king f6, and this is important because of course I'm attacking the rook, and after rook takes on f7 I take the pawn. And okay, this is still gonna be unpleasant because after rook h7 I lose this pawn, but it is what it is. I already let the position get too messy, and that is what I have to do. Here if I played something like rook e1 here, I would be completely lost because e6 comes, and now I don't have king f8, king f8, king f6 I don't have because the king is on f5. Also, king f8 doesn't really help, just rook takes and I'm completely lost. And also if I trade the rooks like this endgame is also just lost for me. So rook b2 or rook a2 or even rook c2, it's really important to not allow e6 through. And thankfully I saw that. Rook b2, played rook d7 here. I played rook e2 back, repeating. He plays rook e7, rook b2, and now he moves his king back to e4 because of course he doesn't want to allow a threefold repetition. I go rook g2 here, attacking g3. My opponent plays rook d7, which is a very tricky move. Of course, if I play rook takes on g3, I'm actually lost because of e6 again. And now when I play king f6, my opponent is not forced to take here or to take here. He can actually just push and I'm lost. So very important detail, very nice trap that my opponent tried to play. But I played king f8 smartly, avoiding e6 because now the king is not pinned. The pawn is not pinned when I move my king to f8. So okay, rook d3, I play rook e2 check, rook e3 I move. Of course I don't want to trade rooks. He plays king f5, I play king g7, and my opponent finally breaks with e6. But as you guys saw a few moves ago, I still have rook b5 check, and after rook e5 I take on e6 with check, and my opponent takes with the king. Here I give a check on b6, king f5, check on f6, king e4, and king g6 here by me. And honestly, at this point I thought, okay, I mean, I'm really close to getting a draw I was getting very excited because the position is getting really, really simplified. But at the same time, I had probably like 3 minutes on the clock or 2 minutes. I was pretty much only playing with increment, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I was very nervous, very exhausted. I was just, feeling all the pressure, and my opponent still had something like 15 minutes on the clock, so still a lot of time to think and to try to create complications. But okay, I was feeling, very excited because I felt like this was my opportunity to finally draw against a higher rated opponent. Here, my opponent plays King d5. I play uh, Rook f5. Of course, my opponent can't really trade on f5 because that would be a draw. He goes back on e4. I go back on f6. He goes Rook e7. I go Rook b6. And here he plays Rook e5. And I play... And actually, here I'm gonna tell you guys a story of what happened. So after Rook e5, I actually called the arbiter because I saw that the position repeated 3 times. So I get a draw by threefold repetition, I thought, And, I knew that I had to write the move down and then pause the clock and call the arbiter, and that's what I did. I wrote down Rook f6, I paused the clock, I called the arbiter, and we actually went to the arbiter's computer to see if actually the position repeated 3 times, because my opponent, of course, wanted to contest the threefold call. And if we go back to try to count the times here, so of course I said that the position was gonna repeat 3 times when I played Rook f6, and let's see. So the position actually first appeared on the board here when I played King g5 here. So this is actually the first time that it appeared, I guess. And let's keep going. So second time, I guess. And third time, I guess. But for some reason here, actually, this didn't really count as 3 times because of the tempos. And yeah, I still don't really understand the rules here, because I thought that, okay, okay, it doesn't repeat 3 times. I guess yeah, I don't know, I can't really explain you guys, but the arbiter said that it didn't repeat 3 times, so okay, I guess so. And here, of course, we had like almost like 5 minutes looking at the repetition, and then we went back to the board, bro. I was very nervous. I was very shaky. I was shaking. I was nervous. And bro, some little kids, bro. Some little kids start saying, you are shaking. You're so weird. What? Why are you shaking?" And bro, I just wanted to slap the shit out of that kid, bro. I really wanted to just, just boosh. I wanted to just throw him off. Throw him on the floor with a slap, with the bitch slap. But because I was just so tilted, I mean, of course I'm nervous, bro. I'm playing one of the most important games of my life. You're trying to draw against 2100, like, bro. I was so mad. I think I even shoved the kid, like, bro. And we sat down on the board, bro. The arbiter gave +2 minutes to my opponent, and my opponent immediately tried to something different with King f3. And here, I had like a minute and a half or something like that. And okay, I played Rook b6, King g2. So my opponent is going around with the king, and I started panicking. I was like, oh my god, I didn't really look at this. This is crazy. rook b2 check, king h3, and here I completely collapsed. I didn't see any way to defend my h5 pawn, and I thought that this was gonna be game over if I let him take the pawn. So played rook b3. He gave a check on e6. Nice move. King g7, and now uh, king h5 here, threatening king h6. Excuse me, threatening king h5. And here I played rook b5, which is a bad move. Let me turn on the engines. Yeah, I could have tried something like rook c3, with the point that if it takes immediately, I take here, and this should be a draw. But of course, if I play rook c3, he still has, he still has this move, king, rook e5, and here after king g6, he can take the pawn. If I try uh, rook takes g3, I actually lose on the spot to f5. So yeah, I tried rook b5, which okay, plays rook e5 here. I go rook b1, and here he takes on h5. I gave a check on h1, and after king g4 here, I should have tried something like king g6, or even rook rook g1 maybe. But I completely blundered with king f6, and here my opponent immediately saw the winning move, which is rook h5. And you know attacking the pawn that's gonna fall with check, attacking the rook, and yeah, I'm forced to play something. And yeah, takes, and yeah, here I'm just lost on it. I played king f7. I don't even know why, but if I tried king g7, I would still be completely lost after something like f5, king f6, g4, and it's gonna be game over. This is actually just losing. Very simple win. So my opponent won and I lost, and I was so devastated, bro. I don't remember being so devastated after a chess game in a long time. I was really so sad and so angry, bro, that I choked the draw. I mean, god damn, this would have been so epic for me and so good for my just confidence and for the tournament as well. But I lost, and I want to go back to a very specific moment here, which instead of looking for the repetition here, I had a really uh, easy chance. Let me turn off the engine here after king g6 and king d5. If you guys think for a little bit, try to find the move that draws immediately. Like, it's the best move to try to just immediately make the position completely equal. And here, completely missed. And the only excuse that I have for this is, first of all, being bad at chess. Second of all, being very tired and nervous. And third of all, I don't know, just lack of experience in this type of positions. But yeah, the move here that draws immediately is h4. This is like super easy to find and super good, because my opponent is forced to do something about this pawn. And if he takes here, I take on f4, and it's equal. There's no way I lose this. Like, it's impossible. Even if I had like 1 second on the clock, it's impossible. This is like equal. And if my opponent pushed with g4, he actually would have been, this is actually losing for him. So yeah, this would have been an easy draw immediately. And just, I don't know, king e4, what is this, like takes? And yeah, this is just completely equal. So yeah, I mean, I missed a big chance. And I went for the threefold repetition, which apparently it wasn't a threefold repetition. So yeah, I mean, it's it's just sad. I mean, and that kid that pissed me off, bro. That kid that pissed me off, bro. I can see that kid, bro. Oh my god, I'll never forget about him. Oh my god. But yeah, uh, I'm back, guys, with the videos, and I hope you guys enjoy this one. Uh, and yeah, I'll see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye bye, guys.